What is up, everybody, and welcome to this video. Today I want to talk about my life because there's a lot of people asking questions. Who the heck am I? Where I'm from? How I know English? What are my thoughts about this and that? So in today's video I will explain everything. So let's begin my life journey. Maybe a little part. My name is Ivan and I was born in Russia, Moscow in 1999. Funnily enough, the president that we have right now was already the president when I was born. Now, obviously, there was a bit of changes when there was Dmitry Medvedev as a president, but still the same thing if you ask me. At the age of 8, my grandparents have decided to give me a better education and send me over to Ireland. Because education in European countries is a bit better. That's what I think and that's what my family thinks, so that's why I was sent over there. And guess what? Now I know English because of that. And also, it's a good thing because I've actually lived by myself since the age of 8. So it gave me a good start in life because I could think about myself and what to do with my life because I was always mostly in charge of my own life. My first 2 years of schooling was actually in Ireland in County Meath. It was actually quite an experience because when I came over to Ireland, I had no clue about English. I did not know a single word. The only thing I knew is how to order a milkshake in English. So you could imagine me at the age of 8 coming over to another country, coming over to a boarding school in County Meath, which is basically the center of Dublin, with no clue how to speak English. Now, a lot of you might be wondering, how the heck did you actually learn English and were able to speak it? I have no answer to that. It's probably because I was in an environment where everybody only spoke English. So since I was a kid, you know, kids' brains are like sponges. So my brain started sponging up some English words because without English, how the heck am I gonna survive in Ireland in a boarding school? After those 2 years in that school, I moved over to Dublin, where I lived with my first host family for a year, but it didn't feel like home. They weren't the nicest people that you could imagine hosting a person, so I didn't feel like home. I couldn't live there. It was just not nice whatsoever. So after that, I moved to another host family, which I lived with until I actually left Ireland. They basically became my family, and you know what? They actually are my family, but from Ireland. Phil, Jenny, and the family, I know you're probably watching this video. Know one thing, I love you guys, and you're one of the closest people I've ever had in my life, and thank you very much for having me over, and just, you know, treating me like your own son. I really appreciate it. You guys are absolutely amazing. You know what? You're flipping legends. Phil, who I lived with, actually became a huge father figure for me because he was treating me like a son and stuff like that. And when I moved over to his family, and they were my host family, Phil was actually starting up his own business, and he was starting it from a small business and trying to grow it and grow it. And that really fascinated me. So when I was a kid, I was always looking at him doing all sorts of business things. That really fascinated, and that is why I actually like business, and that's why I enjoy doing myself. It is very, very interesting, and I'm really thankful for that as well. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't the best in school. I actually had quite some bad grades, and you know, the reason is because I didn't actually like studying what I didn't like. So in some subjects like geography and stuff like that, I actually had good grades. In, for example, I don't know, maths wasn't my best. Either was accounting and stuff like that. I didn't enjoy it. So I didn't pay a lot of attention to it and stuff like that. I enjoyed more not even playing on the computer, but learning how to video edit, how to program, how to create a little website. I was always fascinated with computer stuff, YouTube stuff, and if you didn't know, I actually tried before making a YouTube channel, but it never really grew like this one. In school there was a lot of bullying because I was Russian. Well, it wasn't really because I was Russian. It was more like, you know, it's school. So there's obviously going to be kids that are going to be picking on you and stuff like that. So they were picking on my accent. They were like, oh yeah, I'm from Russia and stuff like that, you know? And there was other things that were said by one of the guys that I actually made friends with after, but he was a very big bully of mine until we got into a huge fight, like a proper one, and funnily enough, after that, we became good friends. So, you know, sometimes fighting in school actually resolves. I have no idea how that worked out, but yeah, it worked out somehow. So I'm glad that we made friends with that guy, and I still chat to him once in a while on Instagram, which is quite cool. I'm actually really glad that I lived in Ireland, because this way I have a European mentality and also a Russian mentality mixed together. So I could see the good sides and the bad sides of everything and where I live and stuff like that. So it's quite interesting. You gotta live somehow, you know? You gotta see what's wrong and what's not wrong, and you know how Europeans feel about a certain thing, how Russians feel about certain thing, and I think I might have an idea of how American thinks, you know, so it's quite interesting. After I finished school, I really wanted to move back to Russia, because throughout the years of me living and studying in Ireland, I was homesick every single day. You know, I'll be honest with you, I love my country. And when I say my country, I don't mean the government or something like that before you guys start attacking me. I just like my home, I like my family, and I like my friends that live in Russia. So I was always homesick when I was in Ireland. So after finishing school, I've decided that I want to apply to a Russian university in Moscow, to which I did. And I applied to be a diplomat, funnily enough. But I didn't finish university, so I didn't become diplomat in that way, but I guess through YouTube, I'm some sort of a diplomat which tries to bring everybody together. And hopefully that actually works, because I really hope. We need peace and love to each other. So when I didn't finish university, I started working straight away. And my first job was selling tickets to theater over the phone. I worked there for 5 days. It didn't work out at all. Nobody wanted to buy tickets from me, so I left. It really felt like that job was more of a scam in a way. I don't know how, but it was just really fishy, trust me. You might be wondering, Ivan, why didn't you finish university? Well, I didn't finish university because of financial problems, so that is also a reason why I started working straight away as when I left university. Well, time went by, and one of my friends had this Lada. You might be wondering what this story has to do with anything. Well, basically my friend bought himself an old Mercedes, and he had a Lada standing outside his house for a few months, and I came up to him and I said, you know what, I don't have money right now, but could I take your car and pay you off like a loan or something like that without percentages? And he was like, all right, you could take my car for $500. So I did it, and I was paying him off with like $50, $60 a week to own the car. That's basically a story about my first car, because a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people think that I turned 18, some oligarch bought me a flippin' Cadillac. It's not that way. That is also the reason why I want to record this video, because some people assume that I'm some sort of a rich, spoiled kid that has no idea how to work and stuff like that. So I thought, why not record this video and actually explain myself and introduce myself over to you. You might be wondering, why have I still not mentioned my parents? Well, it's actually time to mention my parents and tell you what is going on, because it's been a big mystery and everybody wanted to know about this. And I want to be honest with you guys, with this new year, I want you guys to know everything about me. So even if you have more questions, you might as well ask them in the comment section below. Like this video, maybe even check out the merch website and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate if you guys subscribe to the channel, because I see a lot of you guys are actually subscribing and it really means a lot to me. Thank you very much, and let's continue with this story. Obviously, my mother is a big part of my life. A lot of you were wondering, what does she do for her life? Well, she actually works in a shop as a shopkeeper, and I try my best to help her and my sister out as much as I can. I know that I don't do it on camera. It just, my mother doesn't want to be on film, so I try my best to help her out and my sister out as well by going to school, figuring stuff out for them, because my mother doesn't have sometimes enough time to go to school because she has to work a lot. Now the big question, where is the padre? Where is the father of Sanctioned Ivan? Well, actually, he left me when I was a little kid, and he never really contacted me. So when I turned around 15, 16, I told my mom, here, look, I know he hasn't contacted me, but I want to find out who he is. I want to see him in person. I want to look him in the eyes. So we actually met up a few times, had some good time, ate some pizza and stuff like that. And then he kind of disappeared again. I tried to call him, I tried to text him, but he didn't give back that feedback. He didn't really care. So I thought, I'm not going to be wasting my time on a person that doesn't care on me. So it is what it is. I don't hold a grudge on him whatsoever. It's his decision. He could live with that. I have no problem with it. My family is already amazing. I have a family in Ireland, got a family in Russia, so I don't care about that. Now, Ivan, what have you done else in your life? Why aren't you getting yourself a job? Well, first of all, what I'm doing right now is my job. YouTube is my job. YouTube is my passion. And YouTube is what I really enjoy the most. To be honest with you guys, I have never been a fan of working under somebody. Like, getting hired by some company or something like that. I always felt like there was some sort of a limit. There's always that ceiling which you cannot go through. So I saved up $200 and got myself a first ASIC miner. If you don't know what that is, it's basically this box which sounds like a jet fighter, and it mined crypto. Back in the day, it mined like $5 a day, so I mined, put some money in, got a few of those ASIC miners, and I was mining for quite a while. And then me and Evelina had this idea of doing a proper business, and we wanted to open up a shawarma slash kebab place. It's basically where you have this big stick of meat, and you cut it off, and you put it with a bit of vegetables in a wrap, and turn it around, toast it a little bit, and give it to a person. So I sold off those ASIC miners before Bitcoin crashed down, so it was the perfect timing because I actually sold those ASIC miners for a very good price, and when I sold them the next day, the prices of those miners went down by a lot. So about that shawarma place, me and Evelina worked in that shawarma place for a year. For the first part of the year, we actually worked ourselves because when we were opening up, we had a guy that said he's gonna work for us, but then at the day of opening, he said that he's not gonna work for us. So I said, hey, look, Evelina, we're not gonna panic. So I started watching YouTube videos on how to cook a shawarma, and that's how we began. So for the first 2, 3, 4 weeks, we actually worked ourselves. Then we hired a guy who came up to us. He was actually a garbage man, earning earning $200 a month. And I told him, hey, look, if you want to work with us, you're going to be earning $500 a month, and it's going to be the same time schedule, but you don't have to be working with trash. You're going to be sitting in a warm kitchen, cooking a better shawarma and stuff like that, because back in his home country, Uzbekistan, he was actually a chef. So when we hired him, everything was good. He was cooking some great shawarma. He started earning way more money. I told him that if he sells up to 6 kilograms of meat, I'll give him another $10 a day, and he did, and he was earning good money. But then he kind of started stealing there and there, taking money into his pocket and not working as hard as he could. So we had to fire him. We worked again by ourselves. Worked, and then we found another person which did some horrible things. He started drinking at work. It was absolutely horrible and very hard, and because of that we got a big decline of clients, and it was very hard to save, and we didn't have the funds or time to do it because we were really in need of money. So we sold that shawarma place, had a decline, and a person bought it, so we thought we have to move on. After we sold it, we lived and through that money very fast, and I was trying to find myself What am I gonna do with my life? And couldn't find anything whatsoever. And then when the money ended, it was horrible because I was filling up my car for like $1 or $5 in a day so I could drive down somewhere to look for work opportunities. So then I thought, I'm gonna browse the internet and see what sort of jobs they have. And I found this job which said you need an English native speaker or just a good English speaker. And I thought, you know what? I think my English isn't that bad, so I'm gonna try to apply to that job. So basically I applied to a job which was a American car transportation brokership called Crystal Car Shipping, based out of LA. And the thing is, most of the people that worked there were from Ukraine and like 10-15% from like Russia, Kazakhstan, etc. And when I saw that they're paying $800 a month, and if you do very good sales, you're gonna get a percentage, I was amazed. I had dollars in my head. I was like, $800. That's some very good money, and that's gonna get me out somewhere. The only problem was they had this thing called bait and switch. It's basically when you call up a client and promise him that you have a driver, but you don't actually have a driver, and you gave them already a quote of like say $200, but there's only a driver for $300, and also you gotta make a broker commission, and it doesn't work out. It's basically a big huge scam. That's what Crystal Car Shipping does, and all those car brokerships, transportation brokerships are doing. And I didn't like it at all, so I thought I'm not gonna do it. I obviously learned the script, but I learned it so that when I called people, I said to them, hey, listen, so when you're gonna be getting calls from all those other brokerships, they're gonna tell you that they have a truck driver, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, ask them for the truck driver's phone and call them. You're not gonna be able to do it because they don't have a truck driver, so their prices are fake. Obviously, a lot of people were like, yeah, you're lying to us, why would we believe you, you're a broker, blah, blah, blah. Funnily enough, 15 minutes goes by, those people are calling me back saying, you know what, you were right, they are lying to us, so what could you do with the price for us? I always told them, I have no idea, let me post your car on the board and see if a truck driver wants to pick it up and for what price he wants to pick it up. So that's how I did it, and it actually worked out quite well. So the first month of me working that brokership, I actually earned my commission. So I earned $1,000 and I was amazed. I was like, holy smoke. So I worked there for around 4 months and I was about to get an assistant in that job. Could you imagine? Sanctioned Ivan with an assistant, but I wasn't Sanctioned Ivan yet. And then the Russia-Ukraine conflict happened. Obviously, a lot of people try to keep professionalism in the job. Obviously, there was some minor conflicts between workers since there was like Ukrainian workers, Russian workers there, and stuff like that. But we were still working until the sanctions have hit. And that is when the SWIFT payment system was completely shut down to Russia. So they said, well, you know what? We're going to find a way to pay you now, but next time we're not going to be able to pay you. So if you want to keep working for us, you could move to another country and work from there. But guys, you can imagine, if you don't make a percentage, you're going to make like $800. And for example, in Turkey at that time, you'd be renting an apartment for $500 and you would have $300 left to get yourself some food and stuff like that. And I also have cats. And it would just be impossible. So I told them, I'm sorry, I can't do it. So I basically left, I couldn't do anything. After a few weeks, I thought, you know what, there's not much I could do right now. And I really don't want to be searching for another job because all the jobs are going to be Russian ones and they're not going to be well paid. So I thought, you know what, maybe I'll try to do what I dream of the most. So I took out my iPhone 10 that I had at the time, started recording a video. Recorded the video, edited it, posted it out in the evening. The next morning I wake up, it has 400 views and I was amazed. I got like 30 subscribers or 20, I don't remember. And I was like, this is the most I've ever got when I started a channel. So I thought this is something. And I started making more and more videos. And I was just, the amount of support that I got from you guys, it is just absolutely amazing. It is so cool. And this is just my dream. And you guys can't even imagine how grateful I am that you, every single one of you, yes, you, are watching me and liking and subscribing. It really means a lot to me. And when you comment, I read every single comment and try my best to actually answer every single comment. This is my dream and I'm glad that I'm living it. Unfortunately, doing the situation going on right now and the conflict between the two countries, there's a lot of hate between ordinary people like ourselves. I can notice it when somebody watches my video and says, oh, and comments, oh, how could you watch this Russian orc and stuff like that, you know? And I always think, like, what the heck are you talking about, you know? But then at the same time, you know, you could start saying, oh yeah, it's just people from the West and stuff like that. But it's not. It's what happens to every single person in this world. Because not only somebody could hate me from Germany, America, any European country or something like that, even Russians, they call me a traitor and that I embarrass every single Russian because I show my view about things. I don't sugarcoat Russia. I show how everything is. If something is expensive, I show it. If something is broken, I show it. If something is disgusting, I show it. If something is good, I also show it. But people don't like it, so they call me a traitor inside of Russia. And some people call me an orc outside. So I'm like this in between, you know, I'm neither sides, and I'm this guy in between. And yeah, just the way I live, you know. But I don't want to be somebody's puppet and, you know, sugarcoat something or just hate on something. I tell the honest truth. I just want peace to be in between us ordinary people, because no matter where you're from, no matter what skin color you are, we're all the same in the inside. We're made out of blood and flesh, so how could we hate each other? This is unbelievable. I don't care what the haters think about me or my channel. My goal with this channel is to bridge the bridges and make everybody able to create peace inside of themselves. Because to make peace in this world, we gotta start with ourselves. If we're gonna be hating on somebody or calling somebody names, we will never achieve peace. We need to be nice to our neighbors, to our parents, to the people who are mean to us. We shouldn't answer them with aggression. We should be peaceful. And it doesn't matter where you're from. I hope that this year will bring us peace and happiness to every single one of us. And on this note, I would like to thank every single one of you of watching this video. I really truly appreciate it. Really means a lot to me to share this big part of my life with you. I just want to be open with every single one of you because we're just a big, huge family. Thank you very much for watching, and I love every single one of you. Have a great day, morning, evening, whatever you're having right now. See you later.